Are you tired of your old guitar sound? Your amp doesn't have the effects and the sound that you want anymore? Well, I'm gonna teach you today how to solve all of these problems with guitar effects and guitar pedals. And just like the class about acoustic guitar that I use electric to use this, today I'm gonna talk about guitar pedals without any. How am I gonna do this? Stay in the video and I'm gonna show you. My name is Pedro, and like always, Pedro plays guitars. So when I was a younger Pedro guitarist, I used to have my amp with a lovely clean channel but a really shit drive. It was a Meteoro, and I learned since young that I can fix the things up with pedals and not only fix the distortion, but way more color and give different effects for the sound, different modulations, different equalizations, and anything that you may need, you can solve this with pedals basically. Of course, nowadays I try different good amps and well, they are amazing. They got sounds that is pretty hard. I'm not gonna say impossible, but it's pretty hard to get with a pedal. The spirit of my life gave me some experience and some property to talk to you today about guitar effects. So I mentioned earlier that I don't have any guitar pedals anymore. How am I gonna do this? So, well, I have here Amplitude to help me to show you different pedals. I have here more pedals than I ever had in my whole life, so it was gonna be a funny video. So if you like the idea of this video and you're curious to know how I mount my setup here in Amplitude and how I used to do back in Brazil, well, comment that you want to know more about that. Leave it a like if you like this kind of subject. Who knows if I can bring more. I want to buy some pedal board stuff, and yeah, I want to show you guys the world, so I'm gonna spend my money so you guys don't have to. So that's the idea. Let's go for the Amplitude now. So here we are in Amplitude, as clean and as pure as we can. So let's start to mess it up with the pedals. So I divide in 5 categories: dynamics, distortion, modulation, filter, and time and space. You could add loop over there if you wanted to, but let's keep up with only those ones. So let's suppose that you bought your guitar, you bought your amp, the lovely Amplitude Tube Clean too. Does it sound like a guitar when you think about a guitar sound for you? Well, for some people maybe yes, but for me, when I think of the guitar, I think it's that dun 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 sound. And for achieve this, you may need, if we don't have anything here that can help us here in the amp, maybe you can use a pedal of it. I'm gonna open here my distortion section, but this can be translated for your pedals that you just bought or the pedals that you can find on a guitar store. And the first of them, I'm gonna put the less aggressive, is the overdrive. Inside the distortion category, we got overdrive, distortion, and fuzz are the 3 big subcategories. So for overdrive, I'm gonna use the over screamer, really original. And now the sound that it was on, something like that. It's turned to something like that. Way more like a guitar sound, right? Actually, this whole category of distortion and overdrive was created by accident. It happens that when you push the 2 amps too far, you put so much drive on it, you over the drive of the guitar to the amp, you had this small distortion that starts to appear. So we commonly categorize the overdrive as like the weakest version of distortion, the most pure version of distortion. And if you put a little bit further, you can have like the real distortion. And even more, if you got like almost the peaks of the wave, you got like the max of distortion, we have something like the fuzz. And this is what I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, but if it still is not what you're aiming for, maybe a distortion could be something more as you like. Or even going way deep on this, we can have a fuzz. Okay, now let's talk about a category that is not that evident as the distortion or the fuzz or overdrive or whatever you may want to to use this. Let's talk about dynamics, and with dynamics I want to say anything that may manipulate the wave of the sound is much more discreet and much more about the details and how you're gonna drive the sound to the listener. And with this I separated 3 pedals that I think is gonna be nice for you to see. Let me change it for the screen right here, right now. Okay, here we got the booster, the compressor, and the equalizer. Okay, it's in order of the simpler to the most complex. So let's start with the booster. The booster simply takes your signal and make it bigger. It's good for to put before distortion pedals. Distortion is gonna be more evident. I'm gonna put here a distortion over screaming. You're gonna see. We out boost, wave boost. Gonna be stronger, right? It's just like make it stronger. The compressor, it takes the frequencies that are too high and low a little bit, and the frequencies that are too low and put a little bit higher. So for you to have a comparison, my guitar clean, and look how uniform gets with this. And if you mess up with the level, you can have like some distortion out of it too. Remember when I said that distortion is nothing but the sound spot way up in the way that it starts to distort? Well, here we can see this in practice. And the most complex of those 3 is the EQ. The EQ allows you to manipulate every single range of frequencies of your sound to make the sound the way that you want it to sound. For example, here we got the flat EQ. The sound's gonna be the same. We got a master here for the level. Let's say that we want a sound with more mids. I'm gonna put like some mid frequencies up here. Let's say that I want a treble sound with less bass. Let's say that I want a pause. I want a jazzy, full, rounded sound. Yeah, so these are the dynamics. The next category is a really cool one, is of the pedals that you press and automatically ask for give the like and comment in this video. Yeah, did you thought that I wouldn't remember to ask you for that? Yeah, I always got this in mind. So yeah, if you like this kind of content, if you want more tips and tricks about how to build your pedal board and everything, just let me know. In the end of this video, we're gonna show you how you can put this in an order that makes sense for you. And that's it. Let's go for the next category. Okay, so let's talk about modulation now. Let's go for the screen. Yeah, here we go. We got 4 pedals in this category: chorus, the flanger, the phaser, and the tremolo. The tremolo, for starting, is like the most different of them. The tremolo basically is a small volume machine that in a certain time go up and down. You can put like a really deep or not that deep. Start with that. It just sounds like every Tarantino move ever made. But it can do cool things, like if you could put ultra fast, or if you put like ultra deep to have like the most of the cuts. Okay, and we got the chorus, the flanger, and the phaser. Well, basically, all the idea of those three is getting the waves of the sound is slightly different from each other. The chorus does this, like a duplifying the sound and put like a little small delay in each recording, and changing slightly the pitch of the sound, make it sound kind of out of phase. We can have something like that. But I like to put the rate low and the deep high, so we can have something like a. And the more that we put this, more evident it is how far are they tuned from each other. This is the chorus how I like it. The flanger does exactly the same thing, but way more smoother, in a time that you can literally listen the dissonance and you can build a other frequency over this dissonance. It's pretty crazy, but when you play, you got something like this. Can you feel it? And the phaser does exactly the same, but it built, how can I say, sequence of filters that not gonna change in equalization, but they shift slightly the phase of the sound, letting this sound like a out of phase. It won't work if I don't turn on the pedal. And these are the modulations. Yep, let's jump for the next category. Remembering that like none of this is exclusive what they got, but is the most famous one. Yeah, the ones that comes to my mind first when I think about modulation, the ones that comes to my mind first when I think about distortion and everything. Okay, so let's go for the effects based on time and space. Okay, so here we got the delay and the time and space. I'm gonna start with the delay. We got two different categories of the delay. The digital delay, like this one, you can see the copy of the sound going through the space. Exactly how it is. Can you listen? We got the analog delay. The analog delay is kind of the same idea, but you can listen the losing of quality between each recording. Can you see it? And the reverb, pretty simple, just giving the feeling that you are in an ambient. Looks like that I'm empty room playing. I don't know if it's something like that, but yeah. And the next one, I was about to say filters, because we got Y, we got envelope, LFO, but I'm gonna say miscellaneous, because there's so many other pedals that I want to put somewhere, but I don't know where. And for this, I'm gonna put like in the order that I use the most, and let's go for the amplitude. Okay, here we got a bunch of random stuff. For the first of all of them should be in the beginning of your signal chain. Ooh. Better now. Let's start with the pitch shifter. Sometimes, not with this amplitude in specific. This amplitude, I think the quality sucks for pitch shifters. Sorry to say. But yeah, if I want to detune my guitar and I want to physically detune, I can use a pitch shifter to be lower. The thing is that you can see that you lose a little bit of quality doing this here in amplitude. I don't use this like a lot anymore. Here, another one that I use, this one I use nowadays, I use more than I should, but I love this thing, is this lovely acoustic simulator. Usually in my gigs, I don't bring acoustics. So when I need acoustic sound, let's see if it worked for the real purpose. It's a little bit loud, but it's serving to its purpose. Then we got the whammy pedal. This one's called Whaminator, but, well, you all know that it's whammy pedal. It does basically what the pitch shifter do, but in wired range, and you can control in real time if you got a nice pressure pedal. I don't have any right now, but it works like this. You can do this for low or for high, if you want. I think it was Tom Morello who did stuff like that. I can remember, I didn't learn the song yet, so... Well, this is a whammy pedal. Then we got the wah pedal. Same idea of controller like the whammy, but instead you control the pitch. You're gonna do this with the frequencies of equalization. You're gonna have something like a... controlling only the range of frequencies. The LFO and the envelope filter are really similar, but the LFO is completely automatic in matters of like the timing of it's gonna define. And the envelope is also automatic, but instead doing like by time, it reacts to attack of my guitar. For example. Let's see how close it gets. Interesting, right? Okay, so let's pretend that we're gonna mount a signal chain with all that we got into now. Well, I can say that those miscellaneous that we put here, it should be the first thing. I'm gonna keep my pitch shifter, just for a matter of just thinking about the science. Oh my god, this sounds awful. Awful. Then we should have our booster or compressor if we want this way. Our dynamic filter. I'm gonna use, let me see. I think I'm gonna grab a booster for myself. During my solos and my things, I can use my booster. Okay. Then after that, we're gonna have it, our distortion or overdrive. I think I'm gonna see... I really like the overscreamer. I'm gonna put the overscreamer over here. I'm not gonna put that strong. Yeah, we're having a nice sound. Then the next one that should go for our signal chain, if I can call it like this, is the delay and ambience. I'm gonna put this delay here. Oh yeah, and I forgot before my delay to put my modulation. What am I gonna put as my modulation? Thinking about a chorus, and let's see if I can find something cool here. A chorus over here. Let's see altogether how it gets. If you want to put something like more. Okay, why do we follow this sequence? Basically because the pitch shifter was meant to mimic that your instrument is in another shift. So basically it's out of this chain. It's just to make it out that something is out of this chain. Okay. The booster is the same stuff. You're gonna pretend that your signal is stronger than it is. And about the chorus and the delay, basically everything that comes before the distortion gets shit. See how? Because in theory, picture that you got just one note with distortion. You react like this. If you put one more note, they're gonna interact together, and the vibration between them is gonna cause this. I'm gonna take the pitch shifter of the game, but the delay was meant to sound cool. If we put it before the distortion, we're gonna have the same dynamic that it happened when we played two notes at the same time. Look the difference. The waves interacting together. You hear? See that how cleaner it gets? Yeah, that's why we put the delay after the distortion. And I want the delay to repeat my chorus too. I don't want the chorus to be applied over my delay, because the chorus already got a small delay, so. And now like this, for you to see. It still sounds beautiful, but you see that the chorus is being applied to the final product, not the delay. Yeah, I think you got it, guys. Look how beautiful it gets putting the delay in the end. But this is basically the signal chain that you're gonna mount for your pedal boards when you got it. If I want to put like a one or more distortions, we put like a which one you want to sound better. You want really the equalization stronger, we put in the end of the signal chain. Let's say I want to put, I don't know, a distortion to put my overdrive. I'm gonna put it before the overdrive. And yeah, this is how you mount your pedal chain. I hope you guys like the content. And that was all for today. It's a really explainable video and not about how to play a song, it's how to mount your rig to play any song that you want. So it's really valuable class. And if you want to keep having valuable classes, subscribe to my channel. I'm always posting this kind of things right here. And also don't forget to leave a like if you like it. And if you didn't, leave in the comment why. I want to know how I can get better, how I can make better videos for you. And all in all, I think that's all. So guys, playing and kisses.